hit the subscribe button. Or don't. I really don't care one way or the other. Welcome everybody to my latest video. So for this video we got something a little bit different, and I did this same type of video when I had my 5.7 Challenger, and well, what we got is it's been a little over a month since I've gotten my Scat pack, and am I happy with it? Am I glad I made this purchase? And the answer is yes. So I got my car, if I remember correctly, it was July 1st. We are now on, I believe, July 6th. Yeah, I think we're on the 6th or 7th. I don't know. I need to check the calendar. Anyways, a little over a month. And how are we doing with the Scat? Well, I am really enjoying it. I'm glad I purchased it. Right now I'm getting, let's see, 16.6 mpg. Not the greatest. But you know, if I drive normally and don't have too much fun with it, you know, I can get about 19 miles per gallon. But of course, you know, especially on Fridays, just trying to get home, and it seems like everyone is just slow on a Friday. So on the freeway, as soon as that opening happens, put the pedal to the metal, get out and go as fast as you can. Try and get ahead of the next slow crowd. So first things first, have I done anything to the car? Just a few cosmetic things, nothing to get too excited about. But one thing that I knew I needed to do, even after the first test drive, I had to get new tires. Now, did I need to or want to? Well, it's a little bit of both. So these cars, for whatever reason, normally come with 245s. Those are way too skinny for this car. A lot of, you know, there's not enough meat on those tires, so you know, you hit the gas and you'll spin. It's not, you know, if you hit the gas normally, okay, you'll spin, but like that right there, if I had 245s, there would have been some spinning. So I upgraded to 275s, and you know, got them, you know, fairly good price. Now the cool thing is, the tires that I had on here, I was able to sell, and I sold them for a very good price, in my opinion. By the time I sold them, they only had like 980 miles on them. So I sold all the tires for $500 cash. Now, could I have gotten more? Probably. But it's one of those things where you just have to, in my opinion, sit and wait for the right buyer, and wait and wait. And truthfully, I thought I'd maybe get $200 at the most. And that was just, you know, putting them on Craigslist or on eBay with local pickup. I looked on eBay, and you know, some people that were selling them for really good prices, that the specific size that I had, which was 245 20s. Yeah, they were offering free shipping. There's no way I could do that, especially on 4 tires. Anyways, I had a coworker who knew somebody who kind of runs their own little car business, car mechanic thing on the side, and they're like, yeah, they'll offer $500. I said yes. That was a great price in my opinion. Didn't have to hold them, didn't have to store them in the garage. So yeah, and all I did is I'm just gonna put that money towards the newer tires. But anyways, back to the car. First things first, I don't care whether this car is faster than other certain cars, and I don't care if this car is slower than other certain cars. It seems, you look at any car video, and I've said this before, car community just seems so toxic. And why'd you get that? Why didn't you get this? Yada, yada, yada. This is faster. Oh, that's slow. Who cares? One of the reasons I picked a Challenger, in addition to liking the way they are looked, and it reminds me of the old school muscle cars, which, if you've seen my video back when I did my first video on my 5.7, one of the things I said is I had always wanted, since I was a young child, a muscle car. And I knew as an adult I would never get a nice souped up 70s muscle car just because the cost would be way too much. And so when I decided, you know what, I was going to get a muscle car, a modern day muscle car, and I had to decide between the Mustang, the Challenger, or the Camaro. The Camaro immediately was out because, to me, it did not look like a muscle car. To me, in my opinion, the Camaros look more like a sports car. And I just didn't care for the look. So then when it came down to the Mustang and the Challenger, the Challenger just drew me, more than the Mustang. Additionally, the Challenger has more passenger space in the back. It's not a lot, but compared to the Mustangs, it's plenty. And that's, in case, I need to carry passengers. I need to carry my granddaughter or friends or whatever. But, back to the car. I'm very happy with it. Glad I got it. The other thing is, after I got my 5.7, I was kind of a little disappointed I didn't go and get a Scat pack. But I was still happy with it. And, when I heard the Challengers were coming to an end, and now you got, electric vehicles on the horizon, it's like, no, time to get a Scat pack. If you remember, I found it for a great price, 0 markup. And I told that other story of the one dealer that tried to get me for $11.50 a month after $18,000 down. You want to hear an interesting story? See my other Scat Pack Challenger video. Now, why didn't I get a Hellcat? Could I afford it? Yes, very much so. Luckily, I'm at a point in my life where I can afford expensive things. But I drive way too far for work for a Hellcat. I spend way too much time in traffic for a Hellcat. And so I would be wasting a lot of money on gas. Again, could I afford it? Yes. Could I afford it comfortably? No. And what I mean by that is I enjoy other things in life other than my car. My life does not revolve around my car. Okay, one, I have a mortgage to pay. And although there's people that are perfectly happy spending, 11, 12, 13, 14, one guy, I even saw a video on $1,500 a month for their car, that's not me. I would much rather put that type of money into a mortgage so I could have a house. So that if needed, if wanted, later in my stage of life, I can sell the house if I wanted to and, get another house or live comfortably or whatever. But other people, their cars, define their lives. That's perfectly fine. Not me. Me and my wife, we like to go to Disneyland a couple times a month. Every time I go to Disneyland, I have no problem spending a couple $100 on crap that I don't need. So, would I be able to afford a Hellcat and all the great luxuries that I also like to spend money on? No. I'd have to cut down my spending elsewhere, and I don't want to do that. So, that is why I'm perfectly happy with a Scat Pack. Bottom line, a V8 is a V8. Hell, I don't even care if you have a V6. If you have a GT or an SXT and that makes you healthy, or that makes you happy, great, perfect. I saw someone who came and interviewed at the company I work for, and they drove up in, it was a really nice looking SXT. You can tell they put some extra money into it. Nice candy apple red, had some nice visual add-ons. It looked really, really nice. And I think his license plate said Heck Cat. So Hellcat, Heck Cat. And hey, I thought that was pretty cool. Seems he's happy with his car. Great. My gas, of course, on the 5.7, I was putting mid-grade. Here on the Scat Pack, I'm putting premium. So there is that cost increase. And of course, in California, we just passed the month of July, which if you're not a resident of California, you may not know this, but our wonderful goon of a governor and his cronies a couple years ago in the middle of the night, they just passed a law. Didn't put it to a vote, they just decided to pass it in the middle of the night that would allow them to every year for 10 years raise the California gas tax. And when people found out, there was an uproar. There was a petition to get the law dropped on the next ballot, and then our governor and his goon, what's his name, can't remember, worded the proposition in such a confusing way that, in my opinion, a majority of the people who voted on the proposition didn't know which way they were actually voting for. I think, if I remember correctly, it was worded in a way that if you voted for the proposition, you were actually voting to keep the gas tax. And so, yeah. And then, what was it, last year? The governor, I'm not sure why California gas prices are so high. I'm going to look into this. So, yeah. Side vent. So there's that cost increase. Overall, I'm still filling up roughly the same amount. I think the 5.7, I was filling up gas every 7 to 8 days. This one, it's every 6 to 7 days. So there you are. Nothing more really to say. Am I happy? Yes. Do I regret it? No. Do I wish I had a Hellcat? Maybe if I won the current Mega Millions of, taking home 400 million, who knows? One thing that I do need to check out, my radio does not work. I can only get one station on my radio, but for the most part I listen to Sirius XM, so it doesn't concern me too much. But there you are. If you have any questions, let me know. Until next time.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.